Good morning, good morning. We are driving to San Luis Obispo for X Takeover. We're getting there like 2 days early because we have to help set up and all that stuff. It is super pretty outside. Look at that. But this is going to be a range video. Oh, it just turned white, so that means it's time to go. Full charge is at 260 miles. It fluctuates between 259 to 260, so we'll just say 260. But first, I need to go to the gym. Good thing it is on the way down. Otherwise, I probably would have taken today off. We will be camping overnight somewhere. The next 2 days we'll have a hotel, but that doesn't have to do with the range test, so make sure you check out the Tesla takeover videos. They'll be on the channel below, so subscribe for that. I do have a lot of stuff in the car right now. As you can see, a whole mattress and refrigerator, everything is with me. So that means we're riding pretty heavy. But also, I am a rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3, so I am the most efficient of the bunch. My usual watt hours per mile is around 230, but if I'm really good, I can get it down to around 200. Now, San Luis Obispo is a whole charging stop away, and so I'm gonna have to charge to full to even get there, and then once I get there, I'll have to charge to full again. But no worries though, because where I'm staying, it has chargers. So tonight, which is Thursday, I'll be able to charge all the way to full, and then tomorrow I'll drive the rest of the way there and charge at the site. We're doing a full range test today. That means you're gonna see me drive to the gym, you're gonna see me drive to work. I actually have to drive to my friend's house to pick her up. We're gonna drive to where we're sleeping, and then we're gonna drive to the actual event. So I will be showing you our watt hours per mile on the drive since charge. Then we also have all the data over here, of course, as well with the trip and rated. So we're starting out pretty good. Oh yeah, negative 0.5 miles consumed. I've never seen that before. And all these range tests that we do together, honestly, something new happens. I learn all the time, and it's literally when the videos are done. So let's see if we can make there. So let's talk business. We need to first make it to Tesla Kettleman. Now the gym's about 40 miles from me, and so is my work. My car's parked outside, so it's literally baking in the sun all day. I don't have cabin overheat turned on. Maybe I should, but for today, we're trying to conserve range. Because honestly, we might not make it to Kettleman. That's going to be our charging destination for the night. And Kettleman, from me currently, it's about 200 miles away. I don't think we're gonna make it. And that's because even though my work's only 40 miles away, typically when I leave work in the Tesla on a normal day, I leave with about 180 miles left on my battery. So just it idling, just sitting in the parking lot, plus the drive from my house, that is 80 miles completely gone. I'm really hoping that's not the case today. Because although my friend's house is on the way, the car has to stop, it has to sit, it has to idle. And so I'm scared that the phantom drain of it just sitting is really what's going to kill this range. Now I'm gonna be driving around 75 miles per hour, mostly because I want to get to the gym at least for like 40 minutes, because I woke up hecka late today. I stayed up so late last night packing, preparing for everything. So we've made it to the gym. Stop one complete with 224 miles left. For this drive, we got about 227 watt hours per mile. I was going the max speed of Autopilot, so that's not too bad. For our rated range, which is how many miles we're spending, just linearly not based on trip, we didn't do too bad. We only lost 1.1 miles, and staying below 70 would have actually saved 2 miles. And so this means we would have ended in the green should we have stayed below 70. Let's go to the trip. The trip we did hecka good. And it's weird because actually everything was working against us. We had wind coming from the southwest, and it cost us mileage. We only spent about 33.8 miles. I'm actually quite perplexed how we did that good, because like I said, we were going the max speed of Autopilot the entire time. We had wind working against us. My tires aren't even at full PSI. That is interesting. Is there something I'm missing? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, but let's get this workout. Just got back from the gym, time to go to work. We did lose a single mile while in park. So we can see screen time contributed to about 0.2 miles lost. I guess that's just from idling. And then Sentry Mode, you can see 0.9 miles. So yeah, in total, we consumed 1.2 miles while parked. Now it's time to go to work. It takes about 2 miles to get there. We're at 223. So when I park the car, I'm going to be at about 220 miles. So remember that. Get to work at 220 miles. Let's see how much range we lose throughout the day. And Sentry Mode just ate up 10 miles off my battery. Here, check this out. As you can see, 10 whole miles. Boom, 10.8 miles, what the heck? And it's so hot, it's like 140 degrees in the car right now. I don't even know how we got to 1.1 miles of screen time. I wasn't even in the car. Whatever, now we drive. Next stop, pick up my friend, and then we'll go to Kettleman. Once I leave her house, I'll let you know how many miles we have. It is still on the way, but I'll let you know how many we have, and then we can talk about getting to Kettleman. All right, I was at to blast the climate because it's so hot, but I drove 15 miles, 316 watt hours per mile. mile is not good at all. Let's see what our consumption is. So we use another 6 miles, and that's probably from climate. I was driving a little fast. I'm not doing like a super, oh my gosh, range test. This is trying to be more like a normal driver. So you can see how normal driving really eats your range. That's 10 miles lost. To my friend's house, gonna pick them up, and then we're gonna drive to Kettleman. I don't think we're going to make it. All right, so I was actually looking at the consumption wrong. I was looking at since last charge. I should have been looking at since last drive. The past one was a bit inaccurate. I just preconditioned the car down from like 140, and now it's at about 69. And the fans aren't even blasting that much. So preconditioning only taking about 1.2 miles is not bad at all. I thought it would take more. So now I have less of a fear of preconditioning and losing battery. So now we are going to try to drive to Tesla Kettleman, getting there with 11% after charging for 5 minutes at a supercharger right before that. But let's see if we can get there beforehand. So it's going to take us 2.5 hours to get to that supercharger. It's 140 miles from here. We have 184. So I do think that we'll have to stop and charge. Let's check out our energy real quick. So the current drive for the trip, it's pretty linearly down. We'll get there at about 50 miles. So yeah, if we're around this area with 50 miles, I'm going to stop and charge. But if we can draft behind a semi-truck, save some range, maybe have a good wind pushing us this way, maybe we won't have to stop. We'll see. Guys, exciting update! So check out our supercharger stop. Notice how it says 0 minutes now? Oh yeah, and we can get there with 13%. It just keeps ticking up because we've been drafting behind the semi-truck. We went into the car with 69 degrees Fahrenheit. We've bumped it up to 72. Might as well just bump it up to 73. Try to conserve more range so we can get to Kettleman without stopping. I don't think that we need to stop. Let's check out our current drive. We can see we're doing pretty good at 222 watt-hours per mile. Remember, we're pretty loaded. And by loaded, I mean we got a ton of stuff in the back. So I don't think that is too bad, especially compared to our Sense chargers at 240 watt-hours per mile. But the real data is in how many miles we've consumed. So we've saved about 1.5 miles, and if this keeps going on, maybe we'd be able to reach Kettleman. I don't know. It's still saying that we'll get to the supercharger Kalinga at around 55 miles, which is pretty low. So maybe we'll have to stop there for literally just a minute. And for the rated range, wow guys, we are consuming more miles, but that's just because we were going uphill. And this is the actual miles, it's just linear. The trip calculates like everything. So trip-wise we're doing good, rated, like in general, not so great. But let's keep on drafting and see what happens. All right guys, so I did it. I removed the only charging stop we had, and we gotta make it all the way to Kettleman. So 12% when we get there. Let's see how we do. We're drafting the whole way, of course. I'm gonna move us to 2-car distance so we can catch as much draft as possible. Of course, we still have our aero caps on, trying to get good efficiency and just keeping up the good vibes. So 12%, let's not go below 10%. All right guys, we just got to Kettleman and we are too low to put on Sentry Mode. That's what that error is. We also can't use Keep Climate because we got here with exactly 16%. So let's look at how good we did, because that's pretty good. On the bottom, I'm not sure exactly what happened. Everything seemed pretty normal when we were driving, but we got a ton of range back here on our trip. On the rated, same thing, look at that. I don't know what it was, but yeah, we did good. 21.4% of our energy was used driving, 2% climate, and we were really blasting the climate at around 70. We lowered it back down pretty close to when I said we moved it back up. We lowered it back down, but yeah, that's the stats there. And then for watt-hours per mile, guys, you ready? 180. And if you know watt-hours per mile, you know that is a good number. We're at Tesla Kettleman. We're going to slow charge for the night. Let's see how long that'll take. All right, so I plugged it in, I heard the click, and oh boy, we got a lot of time remaining. A whole 8.5 hours? Oh boy, and that's with the climate on, so we can't use keep, because even when plugged in, your battery still has to be above 20%. Okay, I understand that from like a battery safety perspective, not bad, I guess. We should be hitting 20% soon though, so not too bad. It is still 100 degrees outside. Look at that. Oh my God. We are getting the full 32 amps, 7 kilowatts, so everything looks good here. I'm happy. I don't know how much we started with on our battery pack, but we drove 166 miles and we still had about 42 left. So that means our battery pack currently, from when we left to getting here, that was about 210 miles. And I think that's pretty accurate. So we got the whole range of our battery. Sometimes on these range tests, we actually get more. Like the craziest is going 330 miles when my full charge is at 260. It's just a lot of good variables that you got to get. But when we wake up, let's see what the drive to San Luis Obispo looks like. So we're here at Tesla Kettleman and the bathrooms were broken. So we had to go down the street, walk down there to Starbucks. They're absolutely backed up and flooded in there. We finished charging though, that we're at 100%. So we're unlatching, putting it back. We get someone else stop to charge. Now it's time to continue our trip. And this is what our entire trip is going to look like. A few divots here because we're probably going up some hills. That is our trip projection to get there with about 185 miles left. We should do good. Let's see if we get around 185 miles. It should only take us about 75 miles to get there. Let's see how long or how many miles it will actually take. So it's an hour and 25-minute drive and it'll take 84 miles to get there. So it says we will only take 75 miles to get there. 260 minus that 185 is where I get that number of 75. But if we look here, it says we are 84 miles away. So we'll see. Everything is currently zeroed out. X Takeover, here we come. I'm so excited. I'll let you know what the results are when we get there. Quick little weird update. There's like part of the freeway that's under construction over there behind that part of the road. And the Tesla thinks it's finished. It kept telling me to turn onto it. But if you look, it doesn't matter because the highways merge like right here. So we're chilling. But it's funny that it's like still thinking that I'm going on it by subtracting the blue from the previous history of us driving. But yeah, there's nothing over there. Weird little Tesla. All right guys, so we made it here with 183 miles. So at 70%, I just plugged in 3 hours remaining. And we're actually just chilling here. We don't really need a charge. It's just free juice. So this is what our trip looks like. I tried to draft, but I don't think that wind helped us. So we did use more miles than we needed to, 10.6 more for the trip. Actually, but overall, so this is the great thing about trips. Trips don't really matter. Rated is how much you're actually using. So we really use 7.3 miles less, which that's awesome because we were going down the mountain. And so our current drive, we drove 85 miles, hour and a half, 200 watt hours per mile, which is really good. And we drove 85 miles, but we used 77 miles only. Let's flip and go. And at San Luis Obispo, Madonna Inn, there's free slow chargers back there. Slow charging, free charging the entire way, all the time. I drove for free.